Hey everybody, welcome to the Purtee Show. This week we have a very, very special episode. I am not going to sit here and blog on about a bunch of stuff. We're going to get right into it after this break. My chat with the one, the only, Peter Weller. This episode of the Purtee Show is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/RonShow. Over 150,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. So head over to audibletrial.com/RonShow today. Welcome back, everybody. I'm here with a man who, if you put his IMDb listing into your DVR, it would blow up your TV. That's right, the one, the only, Dr. Peter Weller. Doctor, thank you so much for being on.
A pleasure. I'm enjoying Skinny Pop right now.
Hey,
you know what
got,
that is?
Yeah, we got that here. It's in our gluten-free aisle. Oh yes, it's
yeah.
It's a tasty little treat.
Yes.
So first off, we haven't talked in a while. I want to say congratulations on the Ph.D. That's fantastic.
Thank you very much. Last time we talked, I was just about to get it, I think.
Yeah, it was because you got it in October of 2014? Something like that?
No. April 2014.
Okay, so yeah, it was just a little bit before that. I think you were finishing up your thesis.
Yeah, that's right.
That that's
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff has happened since then. Are you staying quarantined and safe and everything?
We are. I'm playing some golf. I'm doing some podcasts. I'm writing some articles, and I have to present some papers. I'm doing a couple of pitches for television and so forth, and a couple of meetings, but you can't get on a plane and go anywhere. So
right.
So
I want
the height of my quarantine.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you real quick. I mean, because you're doing the voice for RoboCop in Mortal Kombat 11. The director of that was very adamant about that on Twitter. I just wanted to ask you: do you feel like the character is a blessing or a curse?
Wow. Well, no, it's a blessing. I mean, I'm glad I did it, and I'm glad I left it. Once in a while, I only do it for serious money. I don't do anything about RoboCop unless it's serious money.
Right.
You know, everything that's been said about RoboCop's been said, and it was a great icon. It was a great film, but no, I don't look at anything as a curse, really. No.
Right. I mean, it's and plus recording. What was it like?
A blessing.
It was a couple of lines that you just had to go into a studio for an afternoon, record, and that was it. Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's pretty. Yeah. Now
right.
you have
pretty much.
You have this huge career, and you've recently been mainly doing a lot of directing of TV. What was it about directing TV that really kind of
correct?
What really got you interested in doing that?
Well, I always wanted to direct. I've always found myself a better storyteller than a performer. But Barry Levinson and Tom Fontana got me into directing primetime television with Homicide. And I directed a long form film for Showtime Paramount for Elmore Leonard. And I find that, I get offered to direct these an independent film. And the fun thing is that if you're working for the right people, if you're working for say FX, CBS, the right showrunners like Peter Lenkoff, Kurt Sutter, etc., they stay out of your way. They let you make your movie, so you're really making a movie, and you have a month to do it. And so it's fun to try to hit like 8 or 9 home runs in a year or something like that, you know?
Right, exactly. Now,
It's challenging, it's fun, and it's. Go ahead, tell me.
Oh, I was just gonna say, it's like you've done.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say you've done Sons of Anarchy with Kurt Sutter, and then you also did an episode of Outsiders.
Right.
Did you ever get the vibe while you were working on Outsiders that this was just basically a backwoods Sons of Anarchy?
Kinda. You know, it had a really great cast. Organizationally, it was I really liked working with WGN. Organizationally, and the story thing, arc of it, um, uh, it was not as organized as Kurt. You know, about where this was going to go.
Right.
You know, Kurt has a master's degree in theater and so forth, and he really had an idea of where he was throwing the ball down the field. Sons of Anarchy. Outsiders, I had a ball doing, and really really great cast. But yeah, it didn't. I don't know. That's funny that you correlate those two things. You know, that's all based upon a real story about West Virginia, where those guys didn't want to give up that mountain to a coal mining company, and it's actually written by a playwright. But I never really equated to Sons of Anarchy. That's very interesting you say. You know, I just always compare the production and the writing. I never really, compared the thematic things, and it's a really good thing.
It could also be because Ryan Hurst is in it.
Oh yeah, because Ryan, the great Ryan,
Yeah,
Ryan's great, man. He was great in Sons of Anarchy, but he was really, really good in Outsiders.
But yeah, he had a chance to shine.
He was very good in Outsiders, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he did.
Now you've how much? I mean, you said it take a month to do an episode. I mean, you've done stuff from like I said, Sons of Anarchy, Outsiders, Mayans. You've done Mr. Mercedes. The list just goes on and on. You know, I could Magnum PI, all sorts of things.
I loved Mr. Mercedes, man. That's one of the great fun I ever had. I think that Stephen King, that just very offbeat detective, his realm of detective work and not occult. Brendan Gleeson, the Brendan is amazing, and that was really great. Yeah, I love doing Mr. Mercedes. Wow, what fun that was!
I made it like I think a chapter into the book, and I love that first chapter when everybody gets mowed down waiting in line, and I was just enamored by it. But other things crept into life, and I had to put it down, and I haven't picked it back up, but I've been meaning to. Now,
what have you been watching now? What have you been watching lately?
Lately, you're gonna laugh, but I've been watching the Trailer Park Boys a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of their brand of kind of just ridiculous, vulgar humor for whatever reason, and it just resonated with me because I think if you watch it enough, you see the heart behind it because all of the characters actually do care about one another, despite all the dope smoking and the drinking and the guns and all that stuff. But that, and then and while everyone else is watching Tiger King, I have not watched that. I have no interest in it. I just don't see the point in it, I suppose.
Well, Tiger King is a must-watch because it's almost like whether you have interest in it or not, I don't either. But the Tiger King is beyond belief in its sociology of America. It's just not an entertainment about three wackos keeping. It's truly where America can go, when let loose, and it's just. I think it's a phenomenal social study.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I'm gonna check it out eventually, just so I can be like, yeah, okay, I saw it, but because I don't get a lot of references on the internet a lot of the time, I'm like, I have no idea what these people are talking about, So, but maybe sometimes that's good, is to not be connected.
Yeah.
But I was wondering now. You said that you have about a month to shoot an episode of TV. When it
Yeah.
comes to the difference between TV and film, we may have talked about this before, but I'm not sure. Uh, how much of a difference is there in preparation?
Well, it's time and money is all,
Hmm.
but it's certainly not any distinction in preparation. I mean, to prep an episode of Hawaii Five O, uh, it could be easy, it could be tough. I mean, I was just having a lunch with Peter Lenkoff, creator of the new Magnum in Hawaii Five O. And I had a lunch with him a couple of days ago. We're talking about Magnum, and there's an episode I shot where they recreate Afghanistan. And we had to find pot bunkers and all sorts of stuff, and you have special effects, and you got to like arm up everybody, and you have to recreate a mini battle scene in Afghanistan. Mind you, that's not shooting 1917. But if I had 3 months to prep or 4 months to prep 1917, it
Right,
wouldn't be any different. A
right.
lot of times it's more fun when they say, "Hey, you got 10 days to prep this or 9 days to prep this." I mean, not for nothing. When I was working with J.J. Abrams on Star Trek Into Darkness, and Spielberg came on the set. And Spielberg, I know socially, and what a gifted contribution he's made. And I would digress in saying one of the gifted things that he's really made is that his education. It's not just Schindler's List, but Munich, maybe one of my favorite movies of his, and Abraham Lincoln. Now,
I
I
haven't
did
seen
not
that yet.
know that. You haven't seen Abraham Lincoln? You
Not yet.
must see Abraham Lincoln, because he addresses this thing that the Emancipation Proclamation, uh, and the Gettysburg Address. Uh, these are wartime speeches,
Uh,
and that if they had a conditional surrender with the South, those wartime speeches are invalid, and you're right back to square one. And if somebody wants to say, "Hey, it's economics," hey, it was borders, hey, it was land, hey, it was whatever, Civil War, you still got to distill it down to the fact that it's about indentured servitude, the Civil War. No matter how much you want to like namby-pamby around the fallout of that,
right.
uh, mostly Europe had given up slavery. They found it immoral. I mean, the last country I think was before us was 1832, was England or something, I think. But we still had it, and we were the last. And I say we, the United States. So when you see that Spielberg film, Steven is like, that script is high to point out the dilemma that Lincoln is in with his own people, saying, "In this war, people are dying. Just sign, the conditional surrender." And he goes, "If I do that, what's the point of this then? They're right back into their game."
Right. Everybody died for nothing
No,
then.
yeah, it's got to be unconditional. You have to bring the South to its knees and essentially slap its face with the fact that you're not going back to slavery.
Right.
We are not going back to that, man. So Stephen shows up on JJ's set, and I've never worked with Stephen, but I know him socially a long time. And we're shooting a 3-day, like, blow up, or 21 extras. I got 2.5 pages of his speech. Then Benedict's got to get in a mock up, little spaceship, and shoot lasers into us and blow up this place. And we did the whole thing in 3 days.
Oh, jeez.
And JJ moves so fast, and he wanted a real, like, pod out there with Benedict in it shooting this thing, right, or whatever. He didn't want to do it CG. He's tired of CG. He likes like live action stuff. So I said, "Man, I'm amazed that you're doing this in 3 days." He says, "Well, I come from television." Right on. And he says, "Steven would have probably shot it in 2.5." I, I said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, because he used to take his time, and then he got tired of waiting around." This is as JJ was explaining to me, for an hour and a half every setup, because he went back to direct Amazing Stories and saw what a television crew could do in a prep week, which is mind blowing. Mind blowing. And then how fast they could shoot. And that transformed Steven into a locomotive. Just that thing he did 25 years ago with going back and shooting television. So the point being is that television is that the alacrity, the speed, the verve and enthusiasm, the momentum that shooting primetime television or even like, extensive cable television is not for the faint of heart. We would shoot Sons of Anarchy, everything. Once in a while we'd have a splinter group, but usually we shoot the shoot downs, the drama, motorcycle chases, everything in 7 days.
Jeez.
Yeah, man. And primetime and network television gives you 8 or 10 sometimes. Now we come back after hopefully we come back after COVID. They're gonna have to get rid of third camera. They're gonna have to get rid of like extra sound. They're gonna have moving lunches in bags. It's probably gonna be a 10-hour day and not a 12-hour or 14-hour day. It's gonna be like an 8 to 6 day, or something like that, 8 to 5. It's probably gonna take 9 days to shoot, but who cares? It's got to do it because it's got to be safe.
Right.
So it's going to take longer, but it's going to go faster. I warrant you, it's even going to go faster. And fast is not bad. I mean, fast, with method actors like myself, sounds like at the expense of quality, but that's not true. The thing I notice as an actor, man, is that when I'm loaded in 7th gear and ready to go, and I hit a set, I rarely did, but I worked with some amazing directors. So I knew the bad ones the second I walked on the set, or let me put it this way, the unqualified ones. And they're going, I don't know, man, gee, Ron, where should we do? Should we put the camera over there on Weller's face, or should we? And I think, like, why don't you guys have done no work at home? You guys have done no work in prepping this. You're making this up as you go along. Look, you can make it up. You can always play jazz. But, jazz is based on incredibly sophisticated structure.
Right.
And as Stanislavski said, leave nothing to chance. And then you can leave everything to chance.
Right. Well, it's like when you mention prep work, it's like I directed a short film a couple 2 years ago, and we had 9 pages to get through in 4 hours, and we did it because of all the prep work we did beforehand. And that people don't understand how much prep goes into stuff. It's ridiculous.
And the more you prep, the more you nail it down, the better you're going to be. But also, even if you get to rehearse, like Sidney Lumet, I did my second movie with Sidney Lumet, and he rehearsed it. He rented a gym and he rehearsed it for 3 weeks. We rehearsed the staging of everything, and then the last week he brought in Oswald Morris, the great Oswald Morris, who did The Hill and won Oscars with Moulin Rouge, original Moulin Rouge with John Huston. And so when we were shooting it, man, it was like that fast. So prep is everything.
Oh yeah. And we were shooting with one camera, and it was in a bar, and in the bar it was real tiny. We only had prep is everything. I know. Stuart Gordon, the late Stuart Gordon, he came from theater. So when he would shoot, he would want to rehearse everything. And people were like, why are we rehearsing? This is a movie, it's not theater. It's like, well, because when it comes to the day, everything's going to be way quicker. We're going to get done a lot faster. We're not going to have mistakes. People don't seem to want to put any kind of prep into anything anymore. They just want to go, go, go.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you can go, go, go after you prep. That's
exactly. Put that on a T-shirt. Put that on a T-shirt. But I want to thank you so much for being on. It's always a blast having you on here. We'll have to do this again, and I hope COVID ends soon.
Well, let me throw this at you also.
Yes.
Only because I'm doing this now. My dissertation, my Ph.D. dissertation now, I am now submitting as a book.
Oh.
So I've been published twice since I've seen you as an art historian. So I have a really thriving thing as a Renaissance art historian. in Brill magazine. And you know, the art history magazines and periodicals are much more judicious and pretentious, by the way, than anything the movies ever have to offer. So, right, so I just want to throw that in there because they're always asking when you submit your dissertation and rewrite it as a book, they want to know, you know, you think this is just academia with Yale Press or Cambridge University Press or Oxford University Press or whatever, or University of California Press. And then there's always this question number 8, number 9. What is your access to the media? What is your access, right, to getting people to read this? Because they want it sexy, man. They don't want it just like, you know, all about Michelangelo, man. They want something like, so Joe Blow's going to read it.
Right.
So I just want to like plug my own book.
Oh, how many pages was your thesis?
Okay, so when you get a PhD, it's a dissertation.
Okay.
And a dissertation is essentially like if you get an upper level thing in the humanities, a master's degree, master's of arts, whatever, you know, you write a dissertation, which is a long paper. But you write a long thesis, which is the paper. A dissertation is a book, man. So my dissertation is 326 pages, 87 pages of images, and 47 pages of footnotes. So it's like that thick. Now I got to tear all that down as you know, sell it as a book. But yeah, dissertations are like heavy.
Well, when the book comes out, you got to come back on to promote it. I'll definitely. I cannot wait to read this. I may not understand most of it, but I can't wait to read it because
you'd understand it. It just you'd understand this. The title of it is "Bastard in Exile." Oh. You know what a bastard is, and you know what exile is, and it's Genesis of the first modern book on painting, and how this guy came to write it. So
there you go. Boom. I understand that. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not as dumb as I look.
No, you're not dumb at all, Ron.
Well, I appreciate that. And Dr. Weller, thank you so much for being on. And I always love when you come on. And we'll be right back, everybody.
Are you a horror fan? Do you like wearing your fandom on your shirt and showing the entire world? Then head over to frightrags.com and get all sorts of cool memorabilia and t-shirts to show the world that you are a true horror fan, from enamel pins to collectible cards, socks, and t-shirts with your favorite horror icons on them. Head over to frightrags.com and when checking out, use promo code Purtee10, that's P as in Peter, URTEE 10, and save 10% on your order today.
Well, everybody, that was every time he comes on the program, it's amazing, and I hope he can come back on soon. Next week, Bobby Miller, the guy who directed Critters Attack, wrote and directed The Cleanse, and one of my favorite short films ever, Tub, will be on the program. We're going to talk to him about all sorts of stuff. And this has just been a lot of fun. And I want to thank everybody for watching. Head over to ronhasawebsite.com. All my social media is there. Don't forget that there's a Patreon, and all that stuff is at ronhasawebsite.com. So be sure to head over there. I want to thank you all for watching. This show is just, it's just great, and I'm at a loss for thinking right now. I just am. That's just the way it is, you know. So thanks, Burger Wolf, and all the ships at sea. We'll see you next week.